Hi guys, this is Carol. If you haven't already done so, please like and subscribe to my channel and please share with a friend. So on this video, I'm about to do my pre-anniversary nail set and my husband requested that I do something really simple and clean. He helped me choose the powders, so keep watching and see how I arrived at the conclusion that I did. So here it is. I'm using my Kira Sky hand file to push back on my cuticle because I could never find my regular cuticle pusher. It works just fine, okay? So I had a Halloween set that I did, and that, of course, transitioning from Halloween to um transitioning from Halloween to anniversary was a little bit of a stretch. So I had to use a new one, a new set. And I'm using a 80 grit sanding band on my Melody Susie e-file, and I'm operating at 3000 RPMs, and the back of my nail is a little bit thicker than the front, so I am removing the I'm not trying to thin it down. I'm just trying to remove the shine. I'm just saying that I've been working my nails so much that the front is a little bit thinner than the back. And so I intend to wear this set for a while to let my nails get a chance to grow out. Okay. So some of the prep work was off camera, so I deleted that part. I omitted that part. But you get the idea. I'm just here to remove shine, do it very gentle. You're not trying to do this to remove bulk of the nail or anything like that. Just to remove natural oils, any cuticle that may be stuck to the natural nail around the cuticle area, and prep the nail for acrylic application. And I had soaked my nails off the night before. Make sure you get into the sidewall area. And keep your sanding band flat to the nail. And of course, back and forth, very gentle. I also did these. There's a little bit of length on them, but they're a little bit shorter than I would normally wear them. And that's because my nail is thin on the bottom halfway up. So I just wanted to have less work for them to do. Right here, I'm choosing some nail tips from my nail line. And I am also choosing the tips according to size. As long as they fit sidewall to sidewall, I would apply some KDS nail glue, hold it down for 3 seconds, just like so, and it will be, it dries within 3 seconds. Right now, I'm checking to make sure that they're straight. Whenever I go off camera, guys, this is a moment for you to be wondering, what exactly is it I'm doing back there? Just a little imagination time for you. Yes, that's my story and I'm sticking to it. So yes, these nail tips are supposed to fit sidewall to sidewall. On my thumb though, it's a little bit weird, and the thumbnails well, they all do it, but the thumb one, because it's bigger, it's more pronounced, flares a little bit. And if I choose one that fits sidewall to sidewall, it's sort of like doesn't have enough base at the where my nail free edge starts and where the tip joins together. So I tend to go just slightly off size. I choose sometimes to file off the little skirt part prior to putting the nail down, or I can put it down and then file it off. You'll see what I'm talking about right here. You might want to pinch and expand the video to see what I'm talking about. Oops, didn't stick quite right. So you're going to tap a little bit of glue towards the back. So on the left side of my nail, you can see a little bit of a hang on the tip. That's what I'm talking about. And right here, I'm slightly off camera, but what I'm doing is actually filing that little right on the corner, just on one side. And then I'm going to repeat this process on the opposite hand. Pinch your kitty as glue. Nails are fitting sidewall to sidewall. Hold them for 3 seconds. This one is going to make a liar out of me. Okay, moving right along. Yeah, so I am inspecting the tips to make sure that they are fitting well, that they're straight. Adding a little bit more glue to make sure the pinky stays down, and we're ready to move along. So right here, I'm using a nail scissors to cut it to the length that I desire. And like I said, I'm going a little bit shorter than I normally would wear these. And I'm doing a clean cut across the top, making sure that those was a comfortable length. And when I cut them, guys, I kind of eyeball them in the beginning. Even when I cut on the other side, I eyeball it for the length that I want. And then I would come back and measure. And hey, if one hand is shorter, I will go with the shorter hand. But I pretty much get them within the range of each other. And that's because I'm actually looking at where the tip curve on my hand. And so I kind of can gauge if I put them down the same way, then I can cut them at a certain curve on the nail. That's one way to do them. And then I'm using the scissors to cut the side. At first, I was going to go with coffin on these. And guys, I'm really been feeling the stiletto thing. And it's like the day before Halloween. So in as much as I'm not going to be in Halloween nails, at least they're pointy kind of idea is what I ended up thinking. So you're going to see somewhere along the line where I changed my mind and started changing the shape of the nail from going towards a coffin to more towards a stiletto. And right here, I'm just doing a quick checkup to make sure the length is what I want. And then I started cutting with the scissors here and felt a little more comfortable using a straight edge nail clipper. And so you will see at some point, I just felt like I might be able to cut myself, or the scissors wasn't sharp enough when I'm using it from the opposite hand. I don't know what I was looking for underneath there. There was nothing there. But yeah, I was going to cut with this, and then it started just feeling a little bit uncomfortable. And I would switch out for a straight edge nail clipper instead. And the process went along a little bit faster. So you can choose whichever you feel more comfortable with. I think when I used my dominant hand to cut the non-dominant hand, I felt comfortable. But when it came time to switching around, it didn't feel right. Like I was getting too close to my finger. So I'm at home waiting for the cable guy, and they tell you they'll come between 10 and 12, and they never come when they really say. So I decided to do the voiceover while I wait. So I'm not stewing waiting for them. Alrighty, so at this point I'm fairly comfortable with where I'm at with these nails. And I'm gonna use my E-file, same sanding band, 80 grit, to blend the enhancement to my natural nails, so we have a little bit of a seamless transition, as close as possible to a seamless transition, and help reduce the bulk that can happen because of that little piece of nail thickness. Right, so you can see it's just to the tip where it blends. Sometimes I will sometimes I will take it further out onto the enhancement to make sure I thin it out. And guys, check out this cool um hand rest that I'm using. On one side it's a hand rest, and on the other side it's my dapping dish. So at some point you're going to see me flip it over and fill the reservoir with monomer and use it to apply my acrylic. And if you know anything about me, I'm frugal as hell. I got quite a few of them at the thrift store, and they are so fun to use. So here it is. You guys know my go-to primer is the Young Nail Protein Bond, and it's customary for me to use 2 applications, and it is highly recommended by the manufacturer that you use 2 applications of the protein bond. And if you're wondering what a protein bond is, like double-sided sticky tape, so it allows the acrylic to stick to your nail, the nail to the acrylic. Yes, it's just that way, double-sided sticky tape. I think that was a great way to describe what protein bonds does for the nail. And I did it twice. I do not get paid by any company, but I just want you guys to know that this stuff works like magic. All right, so we're gonna go in with the Entourage Nail Gallery Clear. As you guys know, I like to put down a thin clear layer whenever I work. And as I said, I was gonna be using the Entourage Nail Gallery monomer and the reservoir of my nail, the device I was using to rest my nails. So you see the second one comes in. I'm gonna use one as a hand rest and one as a reservoir. Pretty damn cool, huh? So I cut off most of this part because my hand was off camera, but what you just witnessed was the last finger that I put some clay on. And this is the time when I changed my mind that I was going to go from coffin to stiletto or almanetto. And when I get to about the third nail, I decided that the these tips are really thin, so I really don't like bulk. So the tips itself was really thin, and I felt like I might pop them off. So I opted for applying the powder first and then shaping it after I did the application. So observe. And here I'm filing the tip side to side so I don't overfile it on one side. And I'm using a 80 grit hand file. Side to side, keeping the hand file straight. Actually, that hand file was 100, 180. No wonder why it was giving me a hard time. I needed an 80 grit. This one is 100, 180. A little bit softer than I needed it to be. All right, so here's my trusty hand rest slash tapping dish. So damn cute. I'm going to be using the Super White by Valentino. And I forgot what powder. If I figure it out, I'll link it in the description box. What it is I'm using for the back part, but this is Super White by Valentino. So I put my first bead down and I'm bringing it forward all the way to the tip. I'm going to take a second bead and just go slightly over the top of the one that I previously put down. And I kind of got a little bit messy on this application here. So at some point, you're going to see me bring in a jar of, what do you call it? Acetone to help me clean up a little bit of my overzealousness on the sides of the nail. So I put a bead, I cleaned off my brush, went into the monomer, picked up a bead, and I placed it in the middle, sort of where my nail tip, my free edge meets the nail tip. And I am pulling forward on the powder and bringing it down to the free edge. And I find like if you can master pulling this down with one bead, it comes out a little bit smoother than if you have to put multiple beads. My opinion only. One bead in the middle of my finger where the free edge and the enhancement meet, and I'm gonna sort of drag that powder ever so gently down to the free edge. The smoother your powder goes down is the easier it is for you to do your finish work. Less hand filing, less e-filing. Yep. I just filled in the back on this one just a little bit because it's of obviously I'm ombreing. Well, it's not obvious. What my intentions is to ombre these with a nudish color to the back, and yeah. So I don't want the gap in the back to be too huge, nor do I want it to be too small. I just want to be just right with the spacing back there where I have enough space to put in the ombre shade and blend it in well. So I'm choosing to do the tips on all of them first as opposed to completing one nail. So I am putting all the white down and then I'm going to go back and put in the ombre color. Some people choose to complete one whole nail. When it comes to working with white, you kind of don't want to get contamination on the white. So that's why I chose to do it this way. And if you don't have enough powder, it can look kind of translucent. So this is why I'm putting another bead and making sure I got full coverage on the tip of the nail. So now I'm going to go back and fill in with what color did I use here? I would have to go back and look it up, guys. But it's in the nude family. And yeah, so this is the idea. And this is a powder that my husband chose. That's the color he wanted. And I'm working pretty messy here. So I'll tell you what's happening here for me, guys. My equipment, my ring light is now broken. I have to order a new one. And so it's not staying where I want it to stay. So in order for me to even get any light, it's kind of in my way. And I'm working quasi in between. It's obstructing my way. It's sort of like in my face. You don't get to see it, but it's a little bit in my face. And so because of that, I wasn't sitting comfortable. And it will show in how I apply. And of course, if you're working on a guest and you're not recording, you don't have to worry about that. I'm just letting you know what's going on for me right here. The struggle is real, guys. So you see the little spillage on the side. And I'm working on my blend right here. And making sure also that the front is thick enough. Picking up a bead and I'm filling in, making sure that I get all my natural nail covered. Tucking it in nice and snug and pulling it down. Yes, guys, I'm utilizing every part of my brush. Yeah, and because of where the camera angle is and how I'm sitting awkward, I was having a hard time seeing where my apex was. Is it too high? But I worked it out. And in the hand filing part, I was able to blend everything together. That powder was a little bit too dry. And now I'm working on building a cuticle, not a cuticle, guys, forgive me, the apex. Have some flooding right there. A little bit more clear. And I'm building up the front of the nail. So here it is, that jar of acetone I was telling you. And while the powder is not totally cured, I'm just using my brush and a little bit of acetone to clean up my spillage. Like I said, it was my pre-anniversary set, and I really wanted to make sure everything was in the up and up. And I probably wouldn't do this on a guest, but because it was me, I just wanted to make sure that these nails were coming out right. Put the acetone to the side, and I'm back to monomer and powder. I said pick up a bead to the cuticle area. I'm pushing it backwards, nice and snug. You might want to expand your camera here, pinch and expand, or zoom in. I picked up another bead and I'm working on the apex. Of course, this is where the nail gets its strength from. And I'm also working my blend. Not be careful not to bring it all the way to the end of the nail. You just want to blend it in. Moving on to another nail. Pick up a bead. Ever so gently tuck it into the side and blend it into the white of the nail. Being extremely careful to keep the side walls clean. Pick up a bead, hold it for a few seconds, and then I apply it. Pick up another bead controlling the flow of the powder. Tuck it in ever so gently, get all the coverage on the sides, and then you blend it in the middle. So when you're doing nails, really there's a whole bunch of rinse and repeat, the same process over and over and over again until you get all the way through all 10 fingers. Pick up another one, do the same thing, tuck it in. Now, the tucking part of the nails, if you do that part right, and when you seal the nail to the natural nail, oh, if you have a smooth transition back there, you would not be getting lifting. No hair will be getting caught and getting up underneath the nail. So pay attention to your craftsmanship when working in this area. Create a system that works for you so that you will do the same thing over and over and over every single time. Pick up a bead, put it into the back, push it in nice and snug, and blend it over the whites. I got some clients, I'm coloring their hair today, and I'm like, Lord, my nails look so good. And I don't want them to stain my nail. Cleaning up the side walls. Dip it in the monomer. Pick up a bead. Right now I can see where I'm trying to make the back of the nail and the front part proportion to each other. Yeah, so it doesn't look one side bigger, like the front is bigger and the back doesn't match it. What y'all think about my dapping dish hand rest thing, guys? I love that. And here, so sometimes when I work on myself, because you're working on yourself, you can tend to, not all the time, your brush can get a little bit dirty. So I keep a jar of acetone close by. So if I'm having a hard time wiping it off, especially if I'm using the non-dominant hand to the dominant hand and I'm not getting the brush clean well enough, I have a little jar of acetone that I will rinse the brush in to make sure that it's free of product. And right here I am just doing a clear layer on top of the nail. Nicely done, looking good. And I'm looking for smoothness here, so I'm making sure that top layer, if nothing else goes down smooth, the clear layer has got to go down smooth. Clean the brush, dip it in the monomer, pick up some powder, and I'm putting the clear from the back and pulling it all the way forward. On this layer, I want as much as I can, even from the front to the back. You know, I don't want to have to add multiple layers of clear. if I don't have to. But I like it to be smooth, the top layer, the clear layer to go down smooth. Yes, very nice. Here it is. I'm going to do the same thing on the pinky. Put some clear down. Bring it forward. Sorry about that, guys. My phone is ringing while I'm doing my voiceover. Whew, such is life. Okay. So, yes, here it is. I'm just filling in with clear. Policing up the sidewalls. And here is it. I am doing the same thing on the thumb. I'm actually looking into getting one of those voiceover booths so that I can eliminate sound and different things like that while I'm working. So I can produce better sounding videos while I'm working on my cinematography. It's getting better, guys, but now my equipment is failing me. Okay, so I'm refilling my reservoir with some Entourage Nail Gallery monomer. And what am I going to be doing here? Look like I'm getting some more white. Oh, duh, Carol. I'm about to work on the opposite hand. And this is going to go a little bit faster. We're doing exactly the same thing we did on the previous hand on the opposite side. And now I believe it's time to put these bad boys into shape. Alrighty, you notice some of them are stilettos and some of them like leaning towards coffin. We're gonna police that up right now. So right now, pinch and expand your video because I get pretty damn close to the cuticle. So some of you may be struggling with sealing the nails, and I get pretty close on the camera here so you can see what's going on. And why is it important to seal the nail properly? You want to be able to see where your nail is, where the natural nail is, where the nail enhancement is, where your cuticles is at. Everything should be free and clear back there. And that includes the sidewalls as well. Here it is. I'm working it on all of my nails, sealing the cuticle. I actually was at a beauty supply store recently, one of the many beauty supplies in my area here in Maryland. And there was this young lady on the phone. Yes, I was eavesdropping. She was talking to someone, and the person was asking her, "Can you do my nails?" And she was telling the person, "Hey, I could only do my nails. I can't do anybody else's nails." So a couple of things it told me. One, she was taught to do nails. She self-taught, one. And most people who are self-taught can do their nails, but really can't do anybody else's nails. So I am actually going to put out a video for anyone who finds themselves in a position where you are self-taught to do your nails and unable to do somebody else's nail, because I do agree that the perspective is different. And if you don't have the hand and eye coordination to turn that image around in your head, you may have a hard time making it look good on somebody else's nails. Alrighty, so continuing, same thing on all 10 nails. I'm sealing, I'm reshaping, creating all of them to be stiletto. And as you can see now, the nails are actually shaped in a stiletto shape. That's because the entire hand filing section of this video was off camera. It was so annoying, but I have to put up a video, and so I cut out as much as I can to try and save this video, but it is what it is, guys. This is what we got, okay? I had fun doing it. The reason why I do post my good work as well as the bad is like it helps me to grow and to actually chronicle where I came from in terms of video, my video skills. My acrylic skills is on point. It's the video skills that I'm having a hard time with. And I'm just part of my journey to being a YouTuber. I'm chronicling everything. And I believe I switched to a, what do you call it? A fine sanding band here. So I'm going in for smoothness now. We're getting ready to prep these nails for a top layer of clear coat. I put 2 layers of eye gel. Actually, I ran out of my eye gel a little bit, so I ended up using some Young Nails clear coat on the top. What do they call this? Ultimate Finish Gel by Young Nails. So at one point you're going to see me using the eye gel top coat, and then you'll see me switch to the Young Nails. I ran out, guys. My bad. Sorry and oh my bad. Oh, I love to feel the nail, to start feeling the smoothness. My finger eyes will tell me, hey, you need to work on it a little bit more. Oh, they're feeling good. I also used a sponge buffer as well as another buffer that I uses. I didn't get a chance to really show you because, like I said, my hand kept on going off the what do you call it? The camera. Here it is. I'm showing where I did the process on my right hand as well. Top coating it with clear acrylic. And in terms of content for this video, it's winding down. I have just about 4 minutes left on this particular video. So right now I'm just showing, the finish. I'm finished hand filing. Here it is. I'm buffing with the sponge buff I was telling you about. You're not going to see too much of that because, like I said, most of the time my hand was off camera. But I at least wanted to include those elements so that you know what's next. I buffed it. The little device next to my hand right on the left hand side, I also use that to buff my nails. At this point, I put a little bit of cuticle oil before I wash my hands, start rehydrating, but I also want to make sure that I can see the cuticle run in the channel of the sidewalls and the cuticle, so I know it's sealed. And then I go wash my hand. I applied 2 coats of top coat, and I will dry this. And look how shiny those are. You know what, guys? I love bling. I love encapsulation. But for some reason, here it is. I'm hydrating again with the cuticle oil. But for some reason, this plain, just two-tone nails was just so beautiful that I was like, maybe I should switch it up a little bit and do a little bit more simple sets, because this was so beautiful. They were clean. They came out so good. I was in love with them, and it's actually putting me into a romantic mode. And then my husband took me out to Olive Garden. We had some cheesecake, soup and a salad, and I did a little photo shoot there with my nails, with my drink. What an awesome evening, guys. Thank you for watching and have a great day.